Grounded is a survival game developed by Obsidian Entertainment. Released in 2020, it quickly gained popularity for its unique premise and engaging gameplay. Set in a backyard, players find themselves shrunken down to the size of an ant and must navigate a hostile environment filled with oversized insects and other dangers. The game features both single-player and multiplayer modes, allowing players to team up with friends or tackle the challenges solo. As players progress, they uncover the mysteries of their shrunken existence and the secrets of the backyard. With the final release of their newest update, 1.4, I figured it was time to cover everything you need to know in order to thrive throughout this game. Yes, this will be a very long video, so just use the timestamps down below for anything you have questions about or are struggling with. I hope you find this helpful, and if you do, remember to leave a like and subscribe for upcoming guides as I dive deeper into the 1.4 update. So, without further ado, let's dive on in. How's it going, everybody? I am Astro, and I will be guiding you throughout the entire video. The first thing that we're going to end up covering is the main menu. You will have the option of single player or multiplayer, so you can take on the world of Grounded by yourself, or you can play with up to 4 friends. Going into multiplayer, you're going to have the option to host or join an online game. What's great about this game is there is no dedicated host. You or a friend can host at any point in time. So let's say that you had a great time, but you don't have time to play it. That's fine. As long as that your friend is within that save file of that world, they can also host the game. So going back, we're going to go into single player, and you're going to see it pop up between story and playgrounds. I will cover what playgrounds really is about here in just a moment, but we're going to continue on to the storyline. Opening up a new game, you're going to see the different types of modes. You have survival, creative, and custom. Under survival, you have 3 different types of difficulty levels: mild, medium, and woe mode. Now, while it may seem appropriate for you to continue on to medium, allow me to just disclose this is not an easy game. While it looks like it may be made for kids, I promise you it's not. It's a family-friendly game, but in my opinion, it's pretty Souls-like. The combat is pretty difficult, especially if you're unfamiliar with these types of games. What's absolutely amazing about this game in general is that at any point in time, you can change the difficulty level. So let's say you started off in medium mode and you're dying a lot. Good thing that you can actually change it down to mild. Next, you have creative mode. Creative mode is exactly what it sounds like. This will just allow you to play the game stress-free. You can do it with bugs or without bugs. And this can allow you to solely build to your heart's content. Then you have custom mode. Custom mode basically allows you to customize the game to your liking. For example, upon death, it is defaulted for you to drop your resources. And in war mode, it drops absolutely everything. However, if you're in custom mode and you decide you want it to respawn with you upon death, you can go ahead and do so. So within your game settings, you can go ahead and change your difficulty here. A couple of things to note about custom settings is that you can actually turn on bugs ignore players. This will just do as that says. It will ignore you. Then you have player damage located under health and power. You can turn this off to enable God mode. Another thing is your stamina drain. Turning this off will allow you to run to your heart's content. Now we're going to talk about playgrounds. If you look down here below, you're going to have an option to create new or even to go down to downloads. When the Make It and Break It update first released, it gave us the option to actually create your own map. Now I'm going to go ahead and create new. This is going to give you 2 different maps, the grass box and the backyard. The grass box is going to look exactly like this. What's great about the grass box is it gives you a almost complete canvas for you to create your next map. You can spawn in weapons, tools, equipment, consumables, resources and materials, buildings, and so on. You can create a whole new map for you and your friends to play. Aside from the grass box, you have the full backyard that you can go ahead and use in order to build your own map in the actual backyard. Now let's say you're not a creative person, that's perfectly fine. You just want to play some different maps. You can go ahead and do that by clicking on downloads. Under downloads, you're going to see your downloads here down below. By the way, if anyone's interested, I did create a couple of maps. This is Astro's Arena, which is a combat challenge one. And this is called The Trial, which is a I wouldn't say it's a puzzle escape room. I don't know why I chose that, but it's a different levels where you go against different bosses. Anyways, Along with that, you have different types of mats. You can go to recent hits, you can go to monthly hits, you can go to all-time hits, and you can go to brand new. This will pull up a variety of different maps that people have created, and it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. So if I find something that looks absolutely amazing, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to hit download. And that is all I am going to cover for Playgrounds. If you would like a little bit more of an in-depth review or guide regarding to Playgrounds, please leave a comment down below and I will definitely do that for you. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and start a new game. For the sake of this video, I'll be in custom mode in order to show you certain things that you can do throughout the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose my character, which is Max. Let's go. And we start from there. Going into a brand new game can be intimidating and exciting all at the same time. But that's why this video exists. This is why I decided to make this video is for you guys. I enjoy this game way too much and I'm so happy I'm able to share what I know to all of you guys. First thing I always end up doing is just switching to third person. You can toggle between first and third person in this game. Third person just allows you to see your surroundings a little bit better, but if you're a first person player, no worries. The first thing you're gonna end up wanting to do is collect all resources like in any survival game. You're gonna go around, you're gonna collect as many things, you're gonna see in the top right corner the things you have discovered. This doesn't necessarily mean that you've unlocked anything, it just means that you have collected that resource, and that is pretty much it. So let's look at our HUD real quick. We're gonna look on the top left corner. This is basically what's gonna give you an idea of what you need to do next, or it gives you a hint on where to go to next. On the bottom left hand corner is gonna be your stamina, your thirst, your hunger, and your health. On the bottom right hand corner is your action buttons. This is regular hit, and this is how you huck things. Throwing things is very important and something I wish I knew earlier on in the game. Now you're gonna come across your first field stations. Field stations are extremely important to discover throughout the entire backyard. They are located pretty much everywhere. Going back down to the bottom left hand corner, you're gonna see this radar appear. When the radar pops up above the Scabby, it's going to indicate where the next field station is, and it's going to start covering it with green. When you reach that field station, it will highlight in green and you have reached your destination. Within field stations, there are resource analyzers, ASL terminals, resource surveyors, and sometimes even these little things called granola bars. Granola bars are not good for food, so do not eat them if you are hungry. They are great for health. They will heal the majority of your health. Now, the first thing that you're gonna wanna do when starting out a new game is collecting all the resources. All those resources, you're gonna take them to the resource analyzer. The resource analyzer is going to do exactly that. It's going to analyze every single resource. Now, analyzing resources are incredibly important because this is how you discover new recipes, new crafting materials. As you are analyzing stuff, you're going to see new recipes, you're gonna see raw science, and you're going to see brain power. By leveling up your brain power, it will unlock recipes down the road. And before I click on this third one, I'm gonna show you here. This is called analyzer charges. Each analyzer has 3 charges, meaning you can analyze 3 objects at a time. When you hit that third one, it's going to say next charge at this time, meaning you're gonna have to wait for that time to hit in order for you to get your next charge. As you analyze some stuff, you're going to gain raw science, and I will talk about why raw science is so important to have later on. Going into my inventory menu, you're going to see this HUD. Now when you see this, this is going to be where all your items are currently collected. Over on your right hand corner is going to be everything that is equipped to your body, and down below is your side effects. These are where your buffs and your debuffs are going to show. Over here are your hot pouches. Now I'm going to go ahead and back out. Your hot pouches are extremely important because this is how you're going to equip certain things. You can navigate through 3 different hot pouches, making it easier for you to, well, survive. So let's say I want an all-around build. I can have one hot pouch dedicated for a general build, a hot pouch dedicated for just bosses, and a hot pouch dedicated for just building. And that is just an example of what you can do for your hot pouches. Going back to inventory, another thing for hot pouches is you can equip food, you can equip weapons, and you can even equip what's called trinkets and even armor, making it easier for you to navigate and equipping in case you're in a pinch. Scrolling over, we have mutations. Now, I will be going over mutations very much in depth later on in the video, but I just wanted to show you what these look like. And now we have crafting. There are going to be some things you're going to be able to craft by hand. For example, crude rope. It takes 3 plant fiber to create 1 crude rope. I currently have a total of 4, so I'm going to go ahead and craft 1. Now, if I look at my inventory, I have that 1 crude rope that has a little exclamation point, meaning it has not been analyzed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. An important thing is you're going to want to manage your thirst and hunger. First is food. I just killed an aphid. That's one of the creatures that roam around that you can cook for food. So I already gathered that just for now. Next is going to be water. If you look over here, you can find water early in the game by looking up at the grass blades. Now, looking at the different blades of grass, you're going to see the dewdrops. And by getting the dewdrop, you can either hit that blade of grass or you can just hook something at it. And there you go, now you have water. Over here, you do have to cook your food. By cooking your food, you have to actually build a spit, and by using the resources required to build something, you will go ahead and craft it. Now I'm going to light it up, and I'm going to go ahead and cook my aphid. Keep in mind that it is not safe for you to leave your food unattended. There are these things called red worker ants. They roam around, especially in the earlier part of the map, and they will eat your food. So just a little tip, don't leave your food unattended. Next is your map. It is going to show you where your location is. Pretty simple, right? Well, it gets a little more in depth than that. It can also show you everything that you've ever discovered, such as lab sites and field stations, and so on. You're gonna have your quest menu, and from here is your data menu. Data menus just basically show you, especially with creature cards, the different types of creatures you have peeped. Going into your Peep.R mode, you can actually scroll over to a creature and hit the right bumper on Xbox. And that will give you a list of data for that creature itself. For example, this weevil has no resistances and no weaknesses. However, if I scroll all the way over to this ladybug, you're gonna see its weaknesses and its resistances. I will go more into weaknesses and resistances much later after we are done here. Peeping creatures is absolutely amazing and important for you to do because it gives you information that you need on that creature. Going back over to the data section under creature cards, this is where all the creatures you have peeped is going to show up. Like I said, peeping creatures allows you to see its weaknesses and its resistances, and sometimes there are some creatures that have even weak points. For example, the ladybug. It is weak against busting and fresh. Busting is a kind of weapon type, such as your hammers and your clubs. Where it says fresh, that regards to an elemental damage. We will go over elemental damages and weapons much later, but I just wanted to show you what that means. Resistances means resistances. It means that, for example, for this ladybug, it will be resistant against stabbing, salty, and spicy. So if you have a weapon that is a stabbing weapon, or a salty weapon, or even a spicy weapon, or the combination of all of them, do not use it against the ladybug because it will not deal that much damage. And that is everything from your inventory all the way down to data. This right here just tells you how many in-game days you've been playing, and if you go down to day mode and night mode down below, such as over here, these are just scabbies that you've picked up along the way, and they just basically change your HUD. So this one will give me this color, this one will give me this color, and this will give me this color. Now that you know the basics of how to get started, you're gonna want to be able to find a place to settle down. There are plenty of locations throughout the entire map to be able to find a nice and safe place for you to build a base. When you're building your base, you're gonna want to ask yourself a few things. Where am I gonna get food? Where am I gonna get water? And how can I get to a field station and or a lab? These are all the things that I recommend that you look into before you start settling down somewhere. Now, keep in mind, if you are looking to build a treehouse, there are a couple of things you need to know. Around the oak tree, there are a total of 3 wolf spiders that roam around. 2 of them reside underneath the oak tree, and 1 of them reside outside of the oak tree. They like to roam at night. However, there is a point in time in the game that you will plug the Haze. Plugging the Haze will unlock a certain creature, and it's not an easy creature. I will tell you this right now, it is considered as a mini boss. Right there, you can actually see that is the infected wolf spider. But what infected wolf spiders are... There we go. There we go. Where are you going? Jesse! Hello? Where'd it go? Jesse! There it is. These creatures are not to be taken light of. If you are not prepared to deal with the infected wolf spiders, I recommend that you do not plug the Haze. I will tell you a little bit more about plugging the Haze a little bit later in this game. But I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this because it's quite annoying. And just like that, the infected wolf spider is down. The reason why I had to get rid of that one is because I needed to show you within this lab. You will unlock the oak tree lab in the beginning of the game. It is going to be the first lab that you come across. This will be the first out of many labs that you will find throughout the entire backyard. All the labs, such as the oak lab, the pond lab, the haze lab, the black ant lab, and even Wendell Tolley's lab, will all have resource analyzers, resource surveyors, and ASL terminals. Now we're going to get into the ASL terminal. ASL terminals, or the Advanced System Libraries, will have the Science Shop, Burgle Quest, and Molar Infusion upgrades. You will not unlock Molar Infusion upgrades until you are able to actually get Milk Molars. I will go into that here in just a moment. Accessing ASL terminals is very important because it will unlock the Science Shop. Having the Science Shop, you are able to actually buy pretty much anything regarding to the game itself. There are miscellaneous stuff such as sign sets that just are for decoration. There are a variety of Burgle chips that are hidden around the map, so definitely venture out, find those Burgle chips, and return it to Burgle. Burgle is this cute little guy over here, and he pretty much takes care of everything. He will answer all your questions and even give you insight as to why you've actually been shrunken down. I will not be covering anything regarding to the story as I feel that it's only necessary to keep it spoiler free. Along with the Science Shop, you have Burgle quests, and this is going to be an excellent opportunity for you to actually go out and collect raw science. It's just an easier way to collect raw science, but it's not the most efficient way. Some Burgle quests are automatic. Going around and defeating a bunch of creatures or picking certain resources up will actually activate and complete some Burgle quests. While we are here at the Oak Lab, I am going to go over the Super Duper. What the Super Duper does is it duplicates certain things for raw science. For example, if I wanted to duplicate this pupa hide, it would cost 900 raw science in order to duplicate it. All I have to do is hit my A button and I can duplicate it for 900 raw science. The Resource Surveyor does just that. It surveys resources. It's very straightforward, and what's absolutely amazing about it and why you have to unlock it pretty early in the game is if you ever need a resource and you have discovered it, what's really great is that you can just click on it and it will highlight in red where these resources are located at. So for example, bombardier parts are going to be found for the bombardier beetles, and these are the different locations that they are found. Now for the fun part, we are going to go over armor, weapons, and upgrades. In order to craft these things, you're going to need a workbench, something you're going to craft at the start of the game. Opening up your workbench, you're going to see a list of weapons and armor that you have unlocked, starting with Tier 1. There are 3 different types of armor, and that will be light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor. If you look right here, you're going to see its defense, its resistance, and the different buffs that it has. It's pretty nice to be able to have a complete armor set, as, you know, some of them do look pretty cool. However, there's more to just looks. Going down to your side effects, you're going to see what's called a gear set bonus. For the antlion armor that I am currently wearing, the gear set bonus is called Quick Draw, meaning it's faster reload speed while in combat. This armor particularly makes it easier and more efficient for people who play ranged weapons. Under side effects, you're going to see the different buffs that the armor will give you, and that is pretty much it. Now, it's all fine and dandy for you to have a complete set of armor. There's nothing wrong with that. Some armor pieces definitely go a long way when you have the full set of armor. Mix matching your armor is highly beneficial as it gives you the opportunity to stack certain types of buffs. I have a stack of buffs down here, as you can see, compared to the 4 stack of buffs that is currently active right now. Going over to your workbench, as you progress further in the game, you're going to come across different creatures, different resources, and that is going to tell you what you need in order to craft that set of armor. For example, the ladybug faceplate requires a ladybug head, a ladybug part, and berry leather, all things that I do have. Now, if I'm missing something, it will be highlighted in red, telling you that that is what you're missing in order to craft that armor. I am a face-to-face combat type of person, so I like to definitely use different types of armor that gives me the upper hand when taking on my opponents. I recommend using at least medium armor for your chest piece because your chest piece is going to have the most defense. Now that we covered armor, let's go ahead and go into weapons. Scrolling over to weapons and tools, you're going to see all of the weapons that you have unlocked over the course of time. There are daggers, spears, clubs, swords, and this beautiful sour battle axe. Weapons like armor also have buffs. This just means that using a specific weapon against a creature will definitely help take them down a lot faster. So with your weapons and your armor, you're gonna want the smithing station. This is gonna be one of the first things that you craft early in the game, and this basically just helps you understand how to upgrade your weapons and your armor. Upgrading your weapons is going to require what's called quartzite, and for your armor, marble. Quartzite and marble can be found all over the map, and it's important, or should I say imperative, that for you to find these because this is how you're going to upgrade everything. There are 3 different types of quartzite and marble. That will be brittle, sturdy, and supreme. By collecting these resources, it allows you to upgrade your weapons and your armor. There are different elemental types, such as mint, spicy, salty, and even sour. Going back to weapons, we have different elemental weapons, such as the mint mace, the salt morningstar, the spicy katana, and the sour battle axe. These weapons are strictly elemental in its own right, and you cannot change it whatsoever. The Club of the Mother Demon is a normal weapon. When equipped, you can see that there are no elemental changes. This just means when it's time for you to upgrade this weapon, going from 0 all the way up to 5 is going to require brittle whetstone. From brittle whetstone, you're going to collect sturdy quartzite. Going from sturdy quartzite, you are going to need an oven. At a certain point, you are going to actually use the oven, and the oven can be unlocked by completing the Haze lab. For the Club of the Mother Demon, there are different routes that you can take. Going the mighty route will be a neutral damage weapon. It simply just means that your weapon just got much more powerful. While you have fresh, spicy, salty, and sour, this will turn any normal weapon into an elemental weapon. This does not change the fact of your enhanced effects, such as damage or durability. It just simply means that it just goes from a normal weapon to an elemental weapon. This cannot be undone once you change it, so keep that in mind. Once you have made your decision on which route you want to go, from level 6 to level 8, it will require globs. From level 8 to level 9, it will require jewels. Jewels are very interesting and a little bit harder to find throughout the game, but once you have found it, to create jewels, you're going to need Supreme Whetstone, which can be found from Supreme Quartzite, and Twinkling Shells, which can be found by killing scarabs. Scarabs are really fast, so make sure you have your aphid slippers on, or you're really good at range. Now we're gonna go over milk molars. Now milk molars will look like these. There's gonna be white ones and there's gonna be gold ones. The regular milk molars are going to upgrade you and only you. So terminal, you're going to see max health, max stamina, hunger, thirst drain, healing, and max active mutations. If you look right here in this column, it's going to show you how many milk molars are required in order to upgrade that specific selection. While mega milk molars will apply to a group if you're playing with friends. You have max consumable stack size, max resource stack size, and max arrow stack size. After you beat the story, defeat all the bosses required to enter New Game Plus 1, you are going to take advantage of those milk molars because, and I did not mention this before when going over armor, because the 1.4 update released as I was still making this video, but going into New Game Plus 1 and up, you will not be able to upgrade your armor past level 9. At least that is what I have been able to tell so far, so definitely adventure out, take your time, and find those milk molars to max out your health like I did in my No Armor series. If I was to give you guys any sort of tip, I would recommend doing max health and healing. Going back to the Super Duper, I am going to go ahead and tell you about the D-Duper. Now, if you look down on the bottom, you're going to see a button that says Swap Mode. This allows you to go into D-Duper mode. Keep in mind that you will not be able to use the D-Duper until you are in New Game Plus 1. I'll be covering a little bit on 1.4, but do not expect so much information as the update just released. Stop right there so I can give a full disclosure. This video is tailored to beginners, to newer players. This game released on PS5 and Switch, so I am addressing those players. For those who have decided to pick up Grounded and give it a shot, thank you so much. I really do hope you enjoy it, and I hope that this guide helps you in general. And lastly, I just have to say, I have struggled through this game. I have put in so many hours, specifically 900 hours into this game, and I am here to just share what I know so you guys don't have to struggle as much and hopefully enjoy the game a little bit more. That is all. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. And we are back. We are going to cover mutations. Mutations are absolutely great to have. If you look here, you're going to find mutation loadouts. These are basically going to allow you to switch between 4 different mutation loadouts. Mutations, they are just another way to give you a buff. These are ways that it has just morphed your little bodies into titans of steel. Don't know if that made any sense whatsoever, but let's say it did. Each mutation can be unlocked by doing certain things, defeating certain things, or discovering certain things. Speaking of discoveries, discovering locations and exploring out will pay off tremendously, as it does unlock Natural Explorer. Natural Explorer is you're going to need Natural Explorer. There's just no way you're going to use and run around this map without it. This just makes you run faster. Here's a tip. If you have the aphid slippers, which are currently equipped to me as of right now, these will also help you run faster. So you can go from, let's say, let's unequip this. So you go from this speed right here, and I'm going to put a side-by-side image to this speed right here. There is a dramatic difference, and there's even a trinket that is called the speed droplet if you guys are able to find it, and that will allow you to run even faster. So yes, it is quite important for you to have certain mutations on, and that is only one mutation I have covered. I will not be covering all of the mutations, obviously, as I think it just be unreasonable, and you know, I just take the exploration of you discovering these mutations out. So going back to mutations, let's go ahead and enter Chopper, for example. Chopping. So Chopper is going to be one of those mutations you're going to unlock by defeating creatures by using an axe. Now that is all I'm going to say. That is all I'm going to say. Chopper is an OP mutation that I recommend that you end up having. It is absolutely great with the Sour Battle Axe, or I guess it's called the Acid what is it called? Acid Edge? What is it? Acid Edge. Yeah, it's called the Acid Edge. You have Coup de Grace, which gives you critical hit chance. Shocking Dismissal, which just unleashes a powerful outburst of electricity. You have Rascal Rogue, which allows you to steal an item. Grassmaster, which allows you to chop down grass faster. Then you have Meat Shield, which just increases your max health, and Buff Lungs, which increases your max stam. There's nothing but benefits when it comes to using your mutations, so please use your mutations. Find those milk molars and definitely upgrade your active mutations that you can use at a time. Alright, so right there we are now going to talk about debuffs. I've talked a lot about buffs, but here's some debuffs. I just got hungry. We are going to enter my inventory menu, and I'm going to scroll all the way down. Everything in red is a debuff. Hungry means less max stamina. So let's go ahead and take a break there. I'm gonna go ahead and cover a very fun aspect of the game. In this game, you are allowed to have pets. Yes, pets. There are a variety of them, and I'm going to pop them down below somewhere here, and you can see all the different pets that you can actually tame. Now keep that in mind. I use that term very loosely. There are there are no tames. They are pets. They're cute to have, they're cute to have, and yes, there are some perks of having pets. Specifically the handy net for builders. I shall show all of these to you and the process of how to tame them. In order for you to attain a pet, you are going to need these things called slurries. There are mushroom slurries, there are plant slurries, and there is even spoiled meat slurry. And each one of them will depend on what kind of pet you want to tame. So in my opinion, I think the gnats are absolutely amazing to have as pets. Oh, actually, there is another way in the 1.4 update. So we're gonna do this together, guys. This is exciting. We are now going to head over towards this location, and here I'm currently in playground, so they can't touch me. I can actually delete you. Delete, hello, fun, right? Okay. So, here we are. There are a bunch of aphids, but I'm not here for the aphids. Instead, what I am here for are my boys. Here we go. So, all you do to tame gnats, and I will tell you why it's good to have these gnats. You are going to need spoiled meat slurry. In order to make slurry, you actually have to continuously make them in the grinders. You make all slurries in the grinders, and when you're trying to tame a pet, there we go, we got a new pet. You just throw the slurries until one of them come up to you, and you can pet them. Look at it! Oh, it's so gross! It's adorable! And that is how you tame a gnat. I will show you why the gnat is absolutely amazing to have in survival or just in general, but I shall show you how to tame the other pets. In order to tame weevils, you're gonna need mushroom slurry. In order to tame aphids, you're going to need plant slurry. And that is pretty much it. There is a fourth pet, a fourth and final pet. I shall show you that in a moment. It is exciting because this will be my first time doing it, and I get to see the effect of why it is so amazing to have it. However, there are different reasons why having pets are great, because they give you certain side effects. For the gnat, it allows you to glide a little bit longer. This doesn't exactly make a lot of sense anymore, especially with the recent 1.3 update. There's a lot of reasons I could get into this right now, why this side effect for the gnat no longer makes sense, but I'm not going to because this is beginner friendly. Anyways, the main reason why I recommend that you tame the handy gnat is because you can do this. You can go into handy gnat and it can allow you to free roam and build to your heart's content. This is why I love, I don't have a handy gnat because it always dies. But anyways. And now we are going to talk about the fourth and final pet. That is the baby ant. Now, the baby ant is a very special tame. It is very unique towards itself because you cannot tame it in the conventional way. So, being in Playground's map, I'm going to be able to show you guys this a little bit better. But just keep in mind, these areas are dangerous. So, these little guys will attack you if you decide to go in range. But anyways, we're gonna go all the way down. I have an idea of where I'm going to find this red ant queen. So yeah, give me just a moment and I should be able to get there. I'm not gonna do any cuts because I think it's right here. It is right here. Let's go. Okay, so going into the red ant queen's chambers. She's not here. Hello? Are you down here? There there you are. I flipped out. She's massive. Let's go. Anyways, what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna go up to the queen of your choosing and you're going to offer a treat. This one is specifically to get the pet, which is what I'm covering right now. Everything else will be in a separate guide. This is beginner friendly, remember that. This will be in a separate guide for the other two choices. So I am just gonna go ahead and offer it. Yes, I am going to offer this as my choice. Do something, she froze. I think it's broken. Oh, there we go. There we go. She didn't do anything. There's supposed to be an animation. Hello, ant. Can you move? My baby ant. My baby ants. Okay, so let's see what the baby ant does. The baby ant allows you to haul more items, meaning this is also really great for building in general. I would be curious how many items you can carry, but the baby ant's going to be great. Another reason of having pets is because you can do this. You can just dump all of your crap into its inventory and you never have to worry about it ever again. Let's go. That is all for pets. That is all that I'm going to cover. So let's go ahead and move on with the rest of the video. Alright guys, here is the fun part. In this section of the video, I'll be doing tips and tricks. Some stuff that might actually help you get started into the game itself. So I really hope that you pay attention and you take advantage of this moment in time. Alright, so coming out from the kid case, definitely keep an eye out for not just everything that is laying on the ground, but pay attention to above as well. Like right here, there are 3 dual drops. Get that water and get the food quickly. So get the water and then come over here, grab the mushrooms and eat them immediately. Especially if you're playing in WoW mode. If you decide to play in WoW mode for your first time around, kudos to you. Respect. So again, once you get your food and water taken care of, you're gonna want to get weapons, you're gonna want to get armor. That's understandable, and that is how you survive, right? Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna show you guys is this in this location over here. So if you just follow in this direction that I'm showing you, this plant right here is called a thistle. This is my favorite plant in all of the backyard, and I'm going to show you why. I did this in my No Armor series and it carried me. They are going to give out what's called thistle needles. Please pick these up. Pick them up and pick up a lot of them. Keep going, do not stop until you get it. And now you are going to find these little guys called sprigs. Sprigs are great. Some of you might know if you guys just decided to click on my video for the hell of it, that's great. You might know what I'm going to suggest. This is my favorite weapon. This weapon carried me in my No Armor series all the way up to the upper yard. You heard that correctly. All the way up to the upper yard. This weapon is the one, the only, the spiky sprig. The spiky sprig is quite OP, and I'm going to show you why it's OP. Now, you may think this ladybug having 5 health bars, 6 health bars, 7 health bars, depending on level of difficulty, it is going to be intense. They're little bulldozers. They'll bulldoze right over you, no problem. But let's say I'm going to go ahead and just attack it. And you're gonna see this little bar. This is its debuff. This is the current effect that is taking place as of right now. It is called Bleed. With 1 hit, it went down quite a bit. Now, it just healed right there, but I'm going to ignore that for the sake of it. But you can see that health just drain and drain and drain, and it is great. And we're doing great things. But this is not the way I would recommend that you guys do it, especially if you are just beginning and you do not know how to perfect parry. Boom. In 1 shot, you're going to see that ladybug just get decimated. Now, the way I recommend that you guys do it, and I feel like this is kind of a secret, and some people might be very mad at me for showing you guys this technique. I do not care. You know how many times I've died to ladybugs? You know how many times I've died to ladybugs? A lot. I'm very passionate about this because I've died so many times and I've almost quit this game. I've quit this game once and it just, I feel like I missed out on a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this ladybug right here. 1, 2, what's great about this technique as well is it interrupts most normal creatures' attack patterns. So just like that ladybug got taken down. Easy. Easy, easy, easy. Cannot express that enough. Let me one-shot this ant. Look at that. Just perfect. Parry, parry, parry. I'm always gonna say this. I am always going to say this. Please learn how to parry. You're not going to enjoy this game. You can try and tank it out. Tanking it out is not going to last for very long. It could last, you know, in the main storyline. It could last maybe in the first New Game Plus, but I promise you it's not going to last. I've seen it, folks. I've seen it hands down. There are pros out there struggling, racing through, getting through to New Game Plus 1, New Game Plus 2, all the way up to 6. There are people struggling because they did not take the time to get those milk molars. So this is just a little 1.4 tip that I feel like I've learned over the course of time is to definitely get those milk molars. And I say this all from the kindness of my heart. The people who I watch, you guys have watched, they're very close friends of mine. To plug the haze or not to plug the haze? That is the question that you're going to ask yourself when you're playing the game. Now, eventually you're going to get to the haze lab and you're going to be prepared by getting yourself a gas mask or two. So in this video, I'll be talking about the benefits of plugging the haze. And that is nothing. There's nothing. There's no benefit in plugging the haze. Here's what it does. It clears the haze so you don't ever have to use a gas mask roaming around this area, and it opens up the door to the infected broodmother. But only 2% of people who've played this game has ever defeated the infected broodmother. So you tell me, you know, what's the benefit of plugging the haze? People can barely defeat the infected wolf spider. So what makes you think all of this is going to be worth it? Just don't plug the haze. Do not plug the haze unless you are prepared for this backyard to get that much harder. Just doesn't make any sense. Do not plug the haze. Just don't do it. Do I plug the haze? Yeah, I plug the haze, but that's just because, you know, I'm good at the game. I've died many a times to get good at the game. So yes, definitely do not plug the haze unless you guys are really that curious to see how, if you're looking for a challenge, definitely plug the haze. But for those who are just adventuring out and want to figure out, what's gonna come next, don't do it. And speaking of the backyard getting more challenging, I am here in the upper yard, and I'm going to be showing you guys another way to make the backyard even harder. So this is just one out of many locations. Over here is one of the locations of the wasp nests. Taking down the wasp nest will definitely piss them off to a point to where it will open the door to get to the wasp queen. With the additional quests like the burgle quests and the main story quests, there are a lot of things that will keep you from doing the main story, and it's good for you to adventure out. One of the things that I definitely recommend that you guys end up doing is called MIX.Rs. Now, MIX.Rs are I would say they're more so as like a side quest. I'm going to get rid of this guy right here because I hate them with a burning passion. Here are MIX.Rs. Now, with the recent update, you can actually see the specific type of MIX.R. This is a regular MIX.R. The difficulty is the easiest, and these are the bugs you will be defending against. And I do mean say defend. The reward, you actually do get raw science from it, and quite a bit at that. As you progress further in the story, you will defeat all the labs. All the labs will take you to the final defense, or what's called the JAVAMATIC. The JAVAMATIC is located in the upper yard. In this direction right here. I shall show you that in just a moment. This is the JAVAMATIC defense. This is the last thing that you'll do before you end the game and you go big or go home. That basically is the title of the game, right? But you don't have to end it there. There are many things that you can do in the meantime, and one of those things is called New Game Plus, and this is brand spanking new. This was released on Tuesday. It was released on Tuesday, and now we start all the way back over here, located across the pond. We are going to go through this little hole that's located here. When you finish the story of the game, you're going to lead to the secret door. This secret door is going to tell you what you need in order to open it. You are going to need to defeat the head brood mother, the mantis, and the wasp queen. In addition of that, you definitely want to do the JAVAMATIC. What is New Game Plus and how can it benefit you? Let me tell you right now, New Game Plus is not for the faint of heart. At least from what I've gathered over the past few days since its release, New Game Plus is completely optional. You do not have to do New Game Plus. The reason why people are doing it right now is because there are just some aspects to this game that we like a challenge. We really like a challenge. We want to see how far we can get into this game. We want to milk everything that this game has to offer. We've been around for years. This game has been around since 2020, and it has yet to disappoint. New Game Plus definitely ties into more of a Souls-like game from that point on. Every single time that you New Game Plus, that basically every single time you beat the story over and over again, each time you beat the story, it gets harder. The game gets harder. There is nothing that keeps you from going back. It basically enters an alternate reality where you continuously enter a much more deadly backyard. And that is all that I'm going to say about New Game Plus, because it is relatively new and I want to keep it, as a surprise for myself. I've done everything I possibly can for this video for you guys to get yourself a head start, and I hope it has helped out a lot. I really do. This is an amazing game and I hope you guys do enjoy it. Grounded is more than just a game. It's an adventure that shrinks you down to the size of an ant and immerses you in a world teeming with wonder and danger. From its stunningly detailed backyard landscapes to its engaging survival mechanics and quirky characters, Grounded delivers an unforgettable experience that's both captivating. Whether you're exploring the towering grass blades, constructing elaborate shelters, or battling fearsome insects, every moment in Grounded is an opportunity for discovery and excitement. With its unique premise and endless possibilities, Grounded proves that the smallest of adventures can leave the biggest impressions. And that is where we are going to call it here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you found any of this helpful whatsoever, please leave it a like, as it does help out tremendously. Join the Discord to share your experiences, your brand new adventures with me and everybody else within the Grounded community. Subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!